I greet you all once again. So it's another week. We have another topic for discussion. Today the topic that we are going to be discussing is how to choose a life partner. It's a very, very important decision in one's life, a very critical one at that. Please do share, invite your friends to join us, invite your families. We're going to need your input. Please come on board and let's discuss this. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. Choosing a life partner. What are some critical things to consider when it comes to choosing a life partner? What should you examine critically? How do you go about it? It's a very important question. You're going to be spending your forever with this person. How do you choose this person? That's what we're going to be discussing today. Oh yes, my dear, you haven't missed. You are just on time. So we are talking about how to choose a life partner. So per the request of one of us, they were like, okay, can we talk about how to choose a life partner? How do we go about it? All right, so choosing a life partner, it's a personal decision. So you tell me what you think. I'm going to be telling you what you think, but first of all, let us understand this. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm just telling you what I know, what I think should be done when you are choosing your life partner, and your own input too is going to be very much welcome. If you are a relationship expert joining us as well, please, your contribution is very, very important. Everybody, all of us, is a discussion. What do you think are some of the things that we should consider when we are choosing a life partner? What should we think about? What should we consider? Like I was saying, choosing a life partner, it's a very personal decision, you know. And it depends on your individual preferences, it depends on your values, and it depends on the circumstances. How do you choose a life partner? What should you consider? What is very critical about choosing a life partner? How should you go about it? Number one, know yourself. Before you will be able to choose someone who is compatible as a partner, you need to know yourself. You need to reflect on your goals. You need to reflect on your strengths. You need to reflect on your weaknesses. And most importantly, what do you want out of life? I see someone say, know your personality and go for what suits you. That's right. What do you want? Thank you so much for that contribution. Keep them coming. What do you want? That's a critical question to define. It's very important for you to define what you actually want in a partner. And this definition should come on the basis of your values, your goals. And it should also include compatibility, your emotional intelligence, mutual respect, trustworthiness, somebody that you have similar life goals with. You should think about that. When we are talking of compatibility, what are we talking about? What are you talking about? Or what are we talking about when we talk of compatibility? Okay, I see the points coming in the comments. Somebody said, do not be equally yoked with unbelievers. Okay, thank you. So when we talk of compatibility in choosing a partner, we are talking about someone who shares your values. Someone who shares the thing you're interested in, your life goals, you know. It's very, very important. Okay. Thank you so much. Gillian, I see you coming. Thank you. She says physical compatibility, spiritual compatibility. We'll get to that. Thank you so much. Communication. You want somebody that you can openly and honestly communicate with. Someone you can talk to openly, who can listen to you as well. Communication is me talking to you and you listening, right? Somebody you can communicate with. You should consider that as well. It's very important. And when you're thinking of compatibility, don't limit it to a short term. Some people draw so much attention to the physical looks. You know, it's very important. Don't get me wrong. It is what you are attracted to first of all that you go for, right? Before you start considering and evaluating other issues. Yes, you look at this person, she's beautiful, he's handsome, he's cute, he's your kind of mind, she's your kind of woman. But the question now is, what are the long-term compatibility things or that you want to look into? Those things are going to be for a long time. Because this person you are engaging with is going to be forever something, right? It's not something you're doing for a second. It's something that is going to last forever. So you might as well consider the long-term compatibility. In the long run, how is this person like? How is this person going to be like? It is very important. When we talk of this long-term, it now comes to play. We talk about the potential of this person. We talk about commitment. There are people who don't want to be committed to anything. You should think of commitment. You should think of integrity. You should think of resilience. When you are thinking of long-term, it's very important when it comes to compatibility. One very important aspect you should pay attention to when you want to choose a life partner. What are their beliefs? Pay special attention to their beliefs. Because those are some very strong foundations of every relationship. What do they believe in? Keep your comments coming. If you are just joining, thank you so much for joining. We are talking about how to choose a life partner. Welcome on board. We are talking about how to choose a life partner. What are some things you need to consider? We've mentioned a few. Feel free to put your own contribution in the comment section. Ask a question if you have a question in mind. So we're just talking about paying attention to their beliefs. Think of what they believe in. Does it align with what you believe in? It is very important. And when we talk about beliefs, we are talking about religion. We are talking about family. We are talking about lifestyle choices. You know, some people have some lifestyle choices that they want to. We all have lifestyle choices. Let me not say some people. You have preferences in life. What are your preferences? Look for somebody who has the same beliefs as you are. Your religion, it's very critical to consider. Like somebody said in a comment not quite long ago, she talked about do not be commonly yoked with unbelievers. If you are a Christian, you might as well think of getting married to a Christian, right? Somebody that shares your beliefs. Religion is very critical when you want to get married. We'll talk more about that when I'm going to go to the part B. So this is on a general note. On the part B, I'm going to be talking about how to choose a life partner as a believer. We'll get to that soon. This is a lifetime thing. You have to take your time. There's no rush. You shouldn't rush with these things. It's forever, you know. Take your time. Take your time to know this person. Take your time to know if their values aligned with yours before you go into any kind of commitment. Take time to actually study. Before you get to the point of study, you should already know what you want, right? What are you looking for? What are your goals? Because you will be looking for somebody to complement you. We talked about know yourself. You should know yourself. It's very important. Know yourself. Know what your values are. Know what your goals are. Know what your strengths are. Know what your weaknesses are. It is very important. These aspects are very, very important when it comes to choosing a life partner. Extremely important. Yeah. There's also one thing that comes naturally, your instincts. You should trust your instincts when you want to choose a life partner. Trust your instincts. It is something you feel right within you. If you have doubts, if you have that conviction, it could be a doubt. You're doubting like, I don't think this is going to work out. It could be that strong confidence that you know that this is the right person for me. Trust your instincts. It's important. And your instincts helps you to explore and know if that is really what you want. That is something you should be able to think. So on a general basis, that is what I wanted us to look at it. That is what I was thinking, or that is what I had in mind concerning what you should consider when you want to choose a life partner. Now, as a believer, let's come back to a believer, right? As a believer, what are some very critical aspects you should consider when you want to choose a life partner? Number one, the most important, consider someone that shares your faith and spiritual beliefs. Do not be equally yoked. We said that before, right? That's from 2 Corinthians, in case you're doubting where that is coming from. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. It says, do not be yoked together with unbelievers, for what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? Look for someone that shares your spiritual beliefs, your values, your practices. Someone that can help you build a stronger foundation in your faith. You should look for someone that can help you build a stronger foundation in your faith. It is very, very, very important when you are choosing a life partner. Life is full of challenges. Life is full of ups and downs. You should have that particular person. When you want to choose a life partner, think of these aspects. Think of that person who will be able to push you through in the face of challenges. You should consider that. Spiritual compatibility. It's very important. Very, very important. You and your potential partner, you should think about this. Your religious compatibility. Do you share the same religion? Do you have same priorities? Do you have goals? Look for someone that prioritizes spiritual growth and personal development. It is critical. Ask yourself a few questions. Is this person aligned in understanding your moral and ethical principles? Are they willing? You know, there are some people who are not, but they're actually willing to align their understanding, to align themselves to your morals and your ethical beliefs. Think about that when you want to choose a life partner. Another aspect that you want to consider as a believer when you are choosing a life partner is active participation. When I talk of active participation, what am I talking about? Somebody who is active with their faith, committed. Let me use the word commitment. someone who is committed to their faith and actually seeks the daily try, make that effort to live in accordance to the principles that guide their lives as a believer. Thank you so much for joining. If you are just joining, the topic of discussion is how do you choose a life partner? What are some things you should consider? You should discuss the differences. While sharing your faith is very, very important, you should think about the differences. The differences in our spiritual journeys. We all have our differences when it comes to our spiritual journey. Be willing to openly discuss it. Be willing to learn. Be willing to strengthen each other. You should consider, ask if this person I'm trying to do forever with, are they willing to have an open communication when it comes to issues like this? Are they willing? Are they going to be supportive to your spiritual growth as a child of God? Ask yourself that question. This A that I just met, this B that I'm thinking of going into a forever engagement with, is he or she going to be supportive of my spiritual growth? Is my partner going to encourage me to grow spiritually? It's very important. Are they going to be there to help me be grounded in my faith, to navigate negative challenges, to reach spiritual milestones? You should ask yourself that. Another thing you want to consider, which is critical, take your time in the place of prayer. Prayer and discernment. As a child of God, when you want to choose a life partner, another thing you should consider to do is pray. Take time to pray and seek the will of God concerning that individual. When you have come to that point where you have seen that, okay, I really want to take this further, or I have seen that we aligned, our goals, they are aligned, our faith is aligned. When you already see that there are some positive aspects of what you actually want, of what you are looking out for, you have met these qualities, you have seen this, the next step is for you to pray, right? And find out if that is the will of God concerning you when it comes to marriage. Pray about it. Seek guidance from your spiritual and faith community. Your mentors, your spiritual leaders, they should be able to help you navigate through. But before you get to this point, you should have looked at the other points that we talked about before you get to the level of making that decision. If X or Y is the right person for you, to actually concluding and getting engaged, if I can put it that way, taking the relationship to the next level. We talked about knowing yourself, knowing what you want, your values, your goals, your strengths, your weaknesses. That is what you should seek in the other person. Look for compatibility. While we are looking for compatibility, don't limit yourself to short-term compatibility. Don't just look at the beauty. Don't just look at somebody that has a vision. Look for somebody that has long-term goals, that will last a long time. It's very, very important. Pay attention to their beliefs. Do we have the same belief? If you're a Christian, think of marry a Christian. It's very important. Take your time. It's a very serious decision. Do not rush. Take your time. Pray for guidance. Seek wisdom. Prioritize what you share. Your religion, it's very critical when it comes to choosing a life partner. What do they believe in? Are we headed in the same direction? Do we have the same foundation? You should think about character. Character is very important when you're choosing a life partner. The good qualities, you know. Are they kind? Are they people of integrity? Is this person a person of integrity? Is this person compassionate? Those are some very, very important things you should think about. Even the Bible makes us understand that beauty is deceptive, right? Charm is deceptive. Beauty is vain. But a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. That is talking about her potentials. Is she kind? Is she humble? Is she domesticated? The Bible wants you to consider that. 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7. Everything is in scripture to help you choose the right partner. Seek humility and love. You should marry someone you love. And how do you know that the person you're trying to consider as a partner loves you or you love the other person? 1 Corinthians chapter 13 makes us to understand that love is kind. Love is patient. Think about humility and love when it comes to choosing the right partner for yourself. Amidst all the other things we've talked about so far, you should think about that. Love is kind. It doesn't envy. It doesn't boast. It's not proud. It doesn't dishonor. You should think about those things. It's not easily angered. Think about this. If you are just joining us, thank you so much for joining. We are talking about how to choose a life partner. How do you choose a life partner? What are some of the things you should consider when it comes to choosing a life partner? Love does not delight in evil. You should think about that. Love protects. We talked about compatibility. We are thinking of spiritual compatibility. We are talking about physical compatibility. We talked about short-term compatibility, and we talk about long-term. It's very important to consider these aspects when you want to choose a life partner. Think about the goals. Think about the values. Think about the lifestyle. Don't say they're going to change when we finally get married, no? Don't start putting some conditions to it. Read between the lines. Be intentional about your decision. Seek wise counsel. Very, very important. Seek advice from trusted mentors, from family members, from spiritual leaders. Seek wise counseling when it comes to making a life decision of who you want to marry. Seek counsel. Proverbs chapter 15 verse 22 says, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Seek wise counsel, Seek wise counsel when you want to make the choice of a life partner. It's very, very important. Trust God's timing. That is one critical part that most of the times we are not patient enough. Trust God's timing. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 11, the Bible says, He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. Be patient and trust God's timing when it comes to bringing the right person into your life. You have to prayerfully seek the face of God in that direction. Phase 1, remember when we started the discussion, we talked about the general overview, some of the things you should consider. And now phase 2, we are talking about making this life choice as a believer. So these are critical points. We're discussing 10 critical points to consider when it comes to choosing this life partner as a believer. Another thing you should consider is guard your heart. Be discerning and guard your heart against relationships that will lead you away from God's will. Guard your heart against relationships that will lead you away from God's will, that will take you out of Christ, if I can put it that way. Remember the verse we read in Corinthians, that do not be equally yoked with unbelievers. Remember that verse. Have that at the back of your mind. Proverbs 4 verse 23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Guard your heart from anything that is going to take you out of Christ. Do not go into a marriage that will take you out of Christ. Jesus paid a price for you. Remember that when you are making these life choices. Think about their beliefs. We talk about the beliefs of the person you want to be engaged into your forever with. You should think about that. It's very, very important. Walk in faith is another thing. Walk in faith. Walk in faith as you seek the will of God concerning your life when it comes to choosing a life partner. Feel free to put your questions in the comment sections if you have any questions. Remember, at the beginning I told you I'm not a relationship expert, right? I'm just telling you what I know that can help you. The request from one of us that wanted us to discuss how they should go about choosing a life partner. All right. Okay, that was about it. That was about what I had in mind when it comes to choosing a life partner. I'll just do a recap